focus on our regions, on regional focus. All right, so the raging debate on the abandonment of the E-block appears not to be dying out anytime soon, as the ranking member on Parliament's Education Committee, that's President-Torgbui Fiti, has described as unfair and waste of public resources government's inability to complete the several E-block schools buildings started by the SWA John Dramani Maham's administration. Well, the Akachi North MP, who led the NDC side on Education Committee to tour the facilities which are said to have been abandoned across the country, told the media at Ziope in the Volta region that the current cost of cement and other building materials meant for the projects have shot up by some 50%.
The tour of the NDC members on the Education Committee was to inspect the progress of work on the school buildings to enable them demand answers from government on why the E-blocks have been abandoned, given the dire infrastructure challenges facing many of the senior high schools amidst the admission of many students associated with the free SHS policy. Speaking to journalists at Ziofi in the Volta region after the team inspected work on one of the facilities, the Akachi North MP, President-Torgbui Fiti, expressed discontent at the snail pace at which work was being done. The soft-spoken lawmaker wondered why the Nanado-led administration has not been able to complete work on the facility, despite a $1.5 billion Get Fund facility approved by Parliament in 2018 towards the completion of the E-blocks.
It has almost been completed 90%, and the contractor at Aflao, the contractor has left site. And here we are told it's the contractor who is self-financing the project. It is unfair. It's a waste of public resources. The contract, which was awarded at about 9 million Ghana cedis, 9 million Ghana cedis cannot complete this project now. That means it's going to cost the country about 50% more the cost, because it has to be revalued. We are just wasting public resources, and I think that thing must stop.
The site engineer on the project, Salom Janu, also told the visiting MPs that work on the project has been slow due to government's consistent refusal to pay the contractor for about 5 different certificates raised in the past.
The school is still a day school, and due to this, many of the students who are posted to the school always get reposted because parents feel the situation will not help the academic performance of their wards. The situation has been affecting the school enrollment, and if not improved, the school could collapse. We would like to use this opportunity to appeal to the Honorable House to push for the completion of all the projects in Ziope Senior High School as early as possible and change it to a boarding school to avoid its collapse.
Meanwhile, the chiefs and people of Ziope traditional area in an earlier press engagement called on government to ensure that work is completed on the project to provide more education access to their children who cannot afford to travel to other places to attend school. The tour also took the committee to other places including Aplau, Sege, and Apesuya in the Yilo Krobo area of the eastern region. For GH1 News, Faisal Abdul Idrisu.
Allow me stay on the E-block some more, as some residents in a flower traditional area of the Volta region have been left agitated over President Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo's response in relation to the comments made by Torgbui Fiti the 5th on the Aflao Community Day SHS, that's the E-block project. Well, President Akufo-Addo, in a radio interview here in Accra on Thursday, responded to Torgbui Fiti's demands that the Aflao E-block facility be completed and operational by February by asking the chief to go and complete the project himself. Well, the president's response has since been considered by many as an insult to the chief and the people of Aflao. Well, just before we bring you their reaction, let's just take a quick listen to how the president responded in that interview.
Ohini wa flower patch say e-block no oba yenya ho hwe. Nti on my education minister up to February say on be hu bibi. It's on say
ono no ma minister alternator.
So abre.
Ani onko ye.
Wa bre. Ohini wa flower patch say e-block no oba yenya ho hwe. Nti on my education minister up to February say on be hu bibi. It's on say
ono no ma minister alternator.
So abre.
Ani onko ye.
Wa bre.
Some residents in Aflao are not happy about the president's response. Let's go to Aflao and get some reaction of the people.
Speaking to GH1 News on Thursday, some residents of Aflao described the president's response as unkind, disrespectful and undeserving of his office as the president of the republic.
Appealing to him that the comment made yesterday, we are not happy at all. So what are we going to learn from him? He's our leader. The comment that he made, what are we going to learn from him?
To be obedient, he should be respectful and command respect. As a president of the whole nation, he should not also be like that to condemn our chief, the paramount chief of the Aflao kingdom. They mean we don't command that respect that's been given to the Shangeni or being given to the Ocheheni. In fact, we are not pleased with the way he talked to our king.
The president was asking for the fair share of the national cake for his subjects. So if he disrespects the chief by telling him he should go and complete the project by himself, it's a total disrespect to the Aflao state and the people of Aflao. I will expect from the president to sincerely apologize to the paramount chief of Aflao and we the people of Aflao.
Member of Parliament for the Ketu South constituency, Abla Jifa Gomashi, also called on the president to reconsider his comments and take steps to redeem himself.
That retort, it was unfortunate, it was unnecessary, and His Excellency President Nana Addo Dankwa should probably reconsider that stance and the message that is behind that retort.
Okay, you can always trust GH1 News to be there to bring you the news as and when it breaks. We're taking you to the Aflao community where our Volta regional correspondent Faisal Abdul Idrisu is stationed. Faisal, thank you very much for joining us. You have been meeting with residents and the chiefs in the community. Can you give us some updates on exactly what they've been telling you? All right, so our reporter Faisal Abdul Idrisu is in the community. He's been picking some updates and developments from the community.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear at this moment, Faisal. So just like I put across early on, you have been meeting with the residents in Aflao and the chiefs in the community. Exactly what have they been telling you? Of course, I can hear Faisal. It looks like Faisal cannot hear me. Faisal, a very good evening. Go ahead.
I hope you can hear me now.
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. You may go ahead.
Great. So, yesterday I was in Aflao. I went first to meet the traditional authorities who were at the time at the meeting over the issue. But right after their meeting, they indicated that they would not in any way engage the media or probably be speaking on the issue in the media as though they are in a banter with the president. And so for the traditional authority, they would not be in any way speaking on the issue in the media. They would advise the chief, that is the paramount chief of the area, Torgbui Fiti, the fifth, on what to do next. And so for the traditional area, officially, they would not be speaking to the media. But I had to pick some public opinion on the street, and a couple of which has been broadcast. What the people are saying is that the comment from the president is unkind, disrespectful to Torgbui Fiti, and for that matter, the people of Aflao. And so they are demanding a retraction and an apology from the president.
Faisal, to what extent are they willing to pursue this? I mean, is it just by rhetoric that president should apologize to the paramount chief, or they seek to carry out other actions?
Well, they have not given any further indication as to what they would do if the president fails to apologize to Torgbui Fiti Amenya and the people of Aflao. But there is every indication that the people of Aflao are not happy about the statement. But Kweku, let me run you through a bit of a background to this particular project that we are talking about, the Aflao one. I hope you can hear me, Kweku.
Absolutely. Please kindly go on. Let our viewers know the situation.
The project officially began in 2015 under the progressively free SHS policy. Now, the time the NDC was about leaving office, they had begun work on the project, but not at the stage it is currently. So what must be pointed out is the fact that after the NDC left office and the NPP took over, work has been done on the project. So the demand from Torgbui Fiti was not to say that nothing was done about the project since Nanado and his government took over. It was for the fact that for a period now, after the project has reached some 90% completion level, nothing much has been done. And for a long time, since the people of Aflao, the urban area, they do not have a single second cycle institution, it would have been appropriate that the project is completed by the time the next academic year, which starts in February, begins. That was the demand from Torgbui Amenya Fiti. But of course, it must be pointed out, and that was equally admitted by the Member of Parliament yesterday, that yes, indeed, when the NDP took over power, they did something about the project. Now, when you come to the Ziofi one as well, which is also another project that was stalled on Tuesday, we were told at the site by the site engineer that government has not been able to pay them for 5 good certificates they have raised in the past. And so the contractor is self-financing the project. The reason why, in their case, they are not able to reach any good stage as that of Aflao. But of course, work is ongoing on the Ziofi one, except that it is at a snail pace. And so for the fact that government is unable to pay them the certificates they've raised, 5 good ones in the past, they are finding it difficult to move the project as fast as they would have loved. But the Ziofi school is already in existence. And so for the chiefs and people of Ziofi, it would have been appropriate and timely for this project to be completed because already the school is suffering from infrastructure challenges. And so their demand is that this project must be completed in time so as to provide enough space for the children. So the minority, on the other hand, was demanding and was indicating that in 2018, some 1.5 billion Get Fund facility was approved to the Education Ministry towards the completion of this project. And if until now these projects are not completed and that they are being told that certificates raised by the contractors are not honored, where is the 1.5 billion Get Fund facility that was granted government some time ago? And so these are the issues around the Ziofi E-Block project and that of the Aflao E-Block project. It is not the case that government has not done anything since they came into office, but of course, many people believe that work on the project has been at snail pace.
Well, Faisal, just before I allow you to go, so we're talking about a situation also where burglars are having a field stay in some of the facilities. Can you paint a brief picture for our viewers so they know the seriousness, maybe why Torgbui Fiti...
In the case of the Aflao one, yes, it's been confirmed by Torgbui himself and some other persons that a couple of times burglars go in there to pick things. But when I went there yesterday, the doors to the rooms were under lock and keys. In fact, some time ago when I went to the facility, though there is a fence around it, it was not locked. Yesterday when I went, it was locked, except that there was some space that people could still access the facility. But the doors are actually under lock and keys now. And so I'm not too sure anybody can access the rooms. The rooms have been fitted with fans and every other thing that the facility needs to start operations. Like I said, this facility is about 90% complete. So as I speak, if furniture is provided tomorrow and that environment is clean, the school can start running once they have teachers posted. So with time, everything can be done. But for now, what we have at Aflao is a complete facility that can be used.
Faisal, thank you very much for joining us this evening with all those updates. We just want to get your reaction also, and that is why my colleague Nana Mano Bimpong has joined me. Nana is speaking to some of the social media reactions that we're getting.